Hi, this is Terry Hedden, the CEO of Marketopia. I have owned businesses for about, well, since the age of 14, so 31 years. Been through a number of economic cycles. I've been through real estate crashes. I've been through being hacked. I've been through losing massive amounts of employees at one time, getting massive amounts of clients, losing clients, gaining clients, losing employees, gaining employees. I've been through a lot, and what I realized was someone helped me realize was that the knowledge and experience that I gained through that would be valuable for other people. So today's session is all about how you can lead through a crisis, and we're going to go through every aspect of your business to help you manage what you're going through today, and hopefully come out of this even better than the way you went in. Our agenda is going to start off with what it means to really be a leader. A lot of the people in the session are leaders at work or at home. Maybe they own a business or a senior level executive. Some are caring for vendors that are having vendors call them, and how do you deal with that? What about clients? If you're responsible for managing customer relationships, how do you care for clients in a time like this? A lot of us have employees and that have to be managed. They're going through their own personal response to what's going on and the crisis at hand. And then we're going to talk about how you can operate during a crisis. And then frankly, what do you do after a crisis to make sure that lessons are learned and things are made right? Let's start off with what it means to be a leader. Going on social media these days, it's amazing to me how often business owners and senior level executives forget that everything that they do online is public and forever. They say things, they do things, they express emotions, they offer political opinions, they blame races, genders, political preference, ethnicities. They literally say the craziest things because they think that they're doing good and they're trying to help other people, or so they think, when in reality, right now, people are seeing a negative side of a lot of people. And what I would encourage you to do is to not panic. Stay calm, stay positive, and be a leader through this. If you want to be the kind of person that people look up to and follow and learn from, and if you want to make a difference to those that you surround you, people have to respect you. People have to be willing to listen to you. So what I would say is, first, don't panic. Be positive out there. Spread solutions to problems. Spread hope when others may not have it. Don't be the person who's blaming this governor or this mayor or this president or this congressman. Don't be the person who's talking about how bad it might be, spreading the negative side. Everybody is doing that. If you want the worst case scenario, just get on the news. They're trying to keep everyone watching the news by talking about how bad it might get. What people want to see from leaders are how you can manage your situation at home and at work through this challenge, how you can emerge from here stronger, how you can make the most of it, how things could be better, how you can kind of become a better person and a better leader through challenges like this, through crises. Second thing I want to talk about is that we happen to live in the greatest time in mankind's history. We have the most stable global environment we've had in a long time. We have the most scientists, the most doctors, the best scientists, and the best doctors in history. We know more about how to handle this than at any time in mankind's history. What that should give you is confidence that it's not going to be as bad as people think it might be. I believe in our leaders. While I'm sure no one's perfect and everyone's dealing with imperfect and incomplete information, everyone's learning day to day, I believe that our leaders, scientists, and doctors are learning every day, making adjustments every day, and are going to do what it takes to mitigate the risk that this crisis brings to us. That can apply to anything that you've got. It's, in fact, extremely unlikely that the worst case scenario ever comes to fruition, because almost always the worst case scenario is what happens when you do nothing. And that doesn't matter if we're talking about a virus or a flood or a hurricane. The worst case scenario is what people talk about to get attention, but in fact, that attention results in action that mitigates the risk and makes sure that that worst case scenario does not happen. I want you to prepare for the worst. Be ready for that, right? Make sure your family and your office is prepared for the worst as best it can be, but maintain hope for the best. Make sure that people at home are positive and optimistic. Don't become obsessed with the bad news. Don't listen to the naysayers and the negativity and the prognosticators that are doing nothing but trying to take advantage of their 15 minutes of fame so that you keep watching their show or reading their paper. Hope for the best. Be a beacon of hope. Be a beacon of optimism in a world of negativity, and you will put around an energy that will attract people to you. People will see you as a leader. You'll solidify your position as a leader, and you'll come out of this stronger as a person and as a professional than when you went in. You've got a brand to protect. You've got your personal brand, you've got your professional brand, you've got your business's brand. You've got to protect that brand at all costs to make sure you can recover. If you say something insensitive or ignorant in a time like this, that becomes your brand. You're that guy or girl. You're the one who said those things that resulted in people that had a party that got the virus, or people that maybe didn't take precautions and led to a worst case scenario. You've got to put yourself out there as a beacon of hope, as a light, as a hero, someone who's trying to help and make a difference. Stay out of politics, stay out of religion, stay out of all the negativity, and be that beacon of hope. Elevate your brand, strengthen your brand, and come out of this being perceived as being more of a leader than you've ever met before. I personally do not believe in the worst case scenario. I believe we're going to have a cure or a vaccine, or at least symptomatic relief in the very near future. I believe in our leaders. I believe that the future is bright. And I believe that in 2 or 3 months, we will look back on this and say, wow, other than this mask that I might be wearing, everything is just fine. We have our health, our priorities are more in line. We are better as a people and as a society than we've ever been before. When times get tough, everybody tries to mitigate their risks. Everybody tries to lower their responsibilities and liabilities. Everyone tries to bolster their assets and receivables. This is a time when you need to be ethical and moral, strong, but not careless. You need to be respectful. You need to be respected. So let's go through the different vendors that you're operating with and how you might want to treat them in this kind of time. First of all, one thing that is very sure right now with the COVID crisis is that the government spigots are open. They are pumping money into the economy and into the banking system like they never have before. In fact, banks have zero cost to loans. They get money from the government for nothing and then charge you interest. So they're very generous. They're willing to defer interest. They're willing to defer payments. They're willing to give you interest-free loans. They are willing to stop your mortgages, your receivables, your collections. They are willing to do a tremendous amount right now because the government is making it in their best interest. In fact, in a lot of instances, you might even have negative interest rates, which means the government is paying them to loan you money. What does that mean? Is that the people that you should look to first for the biggest relief are the bankers, all those loans and line of credits and mortgages. Look to them for breaks on what you've already got, leniency on what you've already got, maybe even cessation of payments for what you already got. And then we'll talk about this in a minute, but they're also a source of net new hope. There's a lot of money that's going to come into the small business market in the next 14 to 18 days. And the reality is all of us stand to make a lot of money and take off a lot of pressure when that comes. So bankers are the primary source of relief right now. Suppliers, the reality is you spent a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money finding the best suppliers and service providers for your business. Do not unnecessarily damage the relationship that you valued so much 3 weeks ago. Be honest with them. Open lines of communication. If you're not having cash flow problems, pay your bills on time. If you are having cash flow problems, share that with them, right? Communicate with them. Be honest. People will be generous to you if there's really a need. Everybody is in this together. Everybody has the same problems. And frankly, we're all human beings. We all want to help people in need. So look to your suppliers and service providers for leniency if you need it. If not, pay your bills. Honor your contract. Do not go back on your word unless you have absolutely no other options. If you want to buy new services, now is an incredible time. The reality is the most savvy business owners understand that the best thing you can do right now is to put the pedal to the metal in terms of offense. Not everyone is hunkering down. The leaders are being aggressive. They see this as an opportunity. They see that this is going to be over in a matter of weeks. They know that the decisions they make today will determine their tomorrow. So you'll find that it's a great time to buy things. People are flexible with terms, discounts. I know Marketopia is offering promotions that are obscene, ridiculous. Not because we need to, we're actually doing quite well. We're doing it because we want to help other people make good decisions. And what we found is aggressive promotions, relaxed payment terms help them make good decisions. Landlords, for the most part, are small businesses. Don't expect your landlord to allow you to stop paying rent unless you need to stop paying rent, right? If you can't do it, you can't do it. For most technology companies, the reality is we're doing pretty well as an industry. We're very diversified. We should be paying our rent. So, small businesses are landlords. Landlords are small businesses. At the end of the day, there's no grand government thing throwing money at landlords unless the landlords get reprieve from their bankers. They have the same revenue and expense, cycle that you do. In fact, their margins are probably even smaller than yours. Bottom line, treat your vendors with respect. Open and honest communication. Pay your bills if you can, and if you can't, be honest with them and try to make a fair deal where both sides are made whole in the end, whether that's delaying payments or partially paying now and making it up later on. Live up to your word. Don't sacrifice your brand. Don't sacrifice your word, and honor the contracts that you have in place. Now, for every vendor you have clients, right? You're the other side of this scenario. You need to understand that they have needs too. They have fears. Everybody's going to get calls from their customers asking them to no longer pay. So let's talk about how you handle each individual scenario. Number one, and most importantly, pedal to the metal when it comes to getting net new clients. Now is not the time to cut marketing or sales. Now is the time to double marketing and sales. Two reasons. First, you still have goals that are not unattainable. Second, you're going to have to replace some clients. So if you focus on retention and you know that you're going to lose a percentage of clients, you know you're sacrificing your business. We are finding that we are almost up to the old count of leads. So people have settled into this new work from home reality, right? They're starting to get used to the noise of fear out there, and they are starting to listen to vendors. People are starting to work on their business. People are starting to reconsider the vendors they have in place based on the actions of those vendors, and frankly, that they have time to think and listen again. This week, we're seeing a lot of people that have solidified their work from home situation, and they've got some balance in their life, and they're able to take appointments like they've never taken before. Smart businesses are listening to vendors more than they ever have. One, because they have time. Two, because they have the brain horsepower to work on their business instead of working in their business. How do you manage customers that are under contract? Okay, first of all, when customers call to pay, the most important, or call to talk about payment or money or not paying or not money, the most important thing is for you to understand their true situation. Ask how business is. Ask how collections are. Are they seeing things still remain strong? What we are finding is that the lion's share of businesses that are supporting other businesses are actually doing quite well still, right? Most IT service providers are doing very well. Most of the businesses they support are doing very well, right? So why is that so important? The reason it's so important is how you treat your customers should be based on the actual situation they're in. If you give into emotion and give every customer what they want, every customer would stop paying their bill and ask you to continue providing service. That is a recipe for personal bankruptcy by you, the business owner. If you have a customer under contract and they are having very serious problems, let's say they're a restaurant, they've shut down operations, now is the time for you to be generous, to be supportive, to be loving, to be caring, to come up with a solution that works for everybody. When someone is drowning, the last thing you want to do is put weight on their head and push them further down. If they are not having problems, ask them to pay their bill as normal and tell them that you're willing to talk if things change, right? If you're struggling now, I'm here for you now. If you're not struggling now, please pay your bill and I'll be there for you when you are struggling, if you're struggling, because frankly, I don't expect us to be struggling for very long. you should ask them to respect their contract. Those contracts give you, your business, your employees, and your family the security that they need and deserve. Do not expect to let everyone out of their contracts. In fact, that is suicide. And frankly, something that if you do for one, you should do for all. And we all know what happens when everyone stops paying, but people continue to look for us for payroll. We cannot float our businesses very long, especially in the service industry, because the lion's share of our expenses are payroll. So if they're under contract, expect them to abide by that contract. If you want to offer some flexibility, like let's say, hey, pay for half this month, if you're challenged, pay for half this month, and then pay for the rest by the end of the year. Or pay for half this month and we'll extend the contract for another month, right? Something like that. But expect them to pay their contract if they can. If they're not under contract, man, I bet you're struggling right now. Two things I want you to think of there. Number one, reconsider your decision to not have a contract. There's a lot of people that take great pride in their handshake contracts or their month-to-month agreement, and now they have to look at their family and tell them that they don't know where their next meal is going to come from, or they have to look at their employees and fire them. Contracts have a value, they have a purpose. They give security to both sides of the transaction. Usually they get a price concession for longer commitments, and then the service provider has some security that the money is going to continue coming in despite the ups and downs of business and the contract. So first, reconsider your decision to offer no contracts. Second, you're going to have to be lenient, very lenient right now, because no one's going to want to keep paying if they don't have to, right? So you're going to have to offer concessions. You're going to have to offer flexible payment terms. You're going to have to get aggressive on promotions to retain clients. So be honorable. Find out how truly bad off they are. Be firm when you can. Be flexible when you can't, or when you need to, when they're in trouble. The key is to understand the difference between those desiring to cancel for convenience versus need. If someone is in desperate need of a situation, you need to be there for them as a leader in the community and as a leader of a partner of theirs. If they're canceling for convenience, which I find is the lion's share of people calling, they actually have money in the bank. They're just scared. Well, empathize them, comfort them, be confident, knowledgeable, and hopeful to them, and tell them to listen, pay the bill, and if things get bad, let's talk. I'm here for you, man. We're on the same team. We're partners. This is when partnerships are forged and strengthened, not broken. If you play your cards right, your clients will stay loyal to you. You want to keep everyone as best you can, but most importantly, you want to make sure you're replacing everyone that you lose or might lose over the next 6 months. Stay on offense, stay aggressive with your marketing promotions, with your sales promotions. Do not cut back on sales and marketing. If you have to cut back because you've lost a big customer, then you should be cutting back on the services side of your business because you don't have the demand for your services. You furlough service providers long before you furlough marketing companies, because if you furlough marketing employees or sales employees or vendors, then you've actually eliminated your ability to replace that the revenue required to employ those resources. You've delayed the inevitable, and frankly, you're not leading your organization through a position of strength and confidence. You're leading at it through fear, and you represent a risk to your organization by doing that. Let's talk about employees. Number one, be prepared for the future and what it might bring. One exercise I'd like everybody to do is to do a rowboat exercise. If you're in a rowboat and you're going onto an island and you're only going to have a certain number of people, who are the people you'd want on your boat? If your business has to cut, you should know exactly who you need to protect. Sometimes we tend to protect those closest to us personally, the ones that are higher on the hierarchy, maybe some that are more technically knowledgeable, when you actually need to think in a level head and a calm manner about who you need to continue operations. You need sales, you need service, you need back office. Think about the people that are most important to the security of your business and build a plan that says, if God forbid, we have to get rid of people, I want you to know the people that you get rid of should start off with the performance problems that you probably should have done something about prior, and then it should go with the people that are least important to the long-term success of your company. If you wait until the time comes when you have no choice, you tend to react with instinct instead of intelligence. In other words, you may get rid of the most expensive resource, or the person that is newest to your company, therefore because they're maybe not as close of a friend. Or you may make a decision based on emotion. In other words, taking care of people that are less important to your company but maybe have bigger personal obligations that you feel guilty about. Do the rowboat exercise, lifeboat exercise. Make sure that your company comes out of this with its core strength no matter what, because we will all be coming out of this in a matter of weeks. There are loans coming out right now, Payroll Protection Program, PPP, and then SBA loans that have zero interest. Why this is so big is that all of us are going to get a tremendous amount of adrenaline shot into our arms in the next 14 to 20 days, right? A tremendous amount of money. If your business continues to get paid by your clients, that is profit because they're covering your payroll. If your business is fired people, you can hire them back, and you need to hire them back because that's the only way that the loans are forgivable. And your customers are going to have the same thing. So the customer that was struggling yesterday is going to be flush with money today or tomorrow, right? When this money comes in. What that means to you is that you might find that customers that are still collecting from their customers are flush with cash and are willing to do projects that maybe they were putting on the back burner before. Maybe even projects that help them deal with the reality of the situation, that all of a sudden those disaster recovery and business continuity exercises that you try to get them to listen to, maybe they might be more apt to do them and listen to them now. It will have an immediate ROI for them because they can put them in play today. Treat those that you can afford to keep with appreciation. Keep a level head, keep unemotional, keep showing appreciation and love and care. Everybody is scared. Everybody is dealing with fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the world right now. Be the beacon of light and hope to them. Show them you appreciate them and love them. Make sure they know how loyal you are to them and that you're going to do everything in your power to maintain the security that they've placed in you. If you need to lay people off, be open and honest with them. If you've done it right, you're going to focus on the people who have performance issues. Right now is an incredibly amazing time to top grade. In other words, the people who are B players, C players, D players that all of us have on our payroll because maybe they just, I don't know, you haven't taken the tough part of actually replacing them. Well, now is the best time in the history of our lives to find amazing talent in the world. 1 million people are getting laid off a day. Amazing people are on the market. There has never been a better time to hire amazing talent. A great business will come out of this better because they've upgraded all their C players to A players, right? And then very similarly, you've got to protect those vulnerable, right? A lot of us kind to, focus on base salary when a lot of people, like salespeople, really depend on variable compensation to make their numbers. Be generous with your variable comp. Maybe offer bare minimums, maybe offer double commission months. Be cognizant of the fact that they probably don't have their lives set up to live through a base salary only situation. So try to backstop them, try to make them whole, try to help them in this challenging time. How do you continue to operate in a disaster? First of all, on the practical side, a lot of us have figured it out, right? We went home, we set up home offices in our bedrooms or outside or whatever. We found a way to physically continue operations. If we were good and made good decisions about the cloud in the past year or two, we probably haven't skipped a beat, right? You don't need a VPN, you don't need a server, you don't need access to any infrastructure in the office. Everything's in the cloud, so you continue operating. If not, then I would take this as a reminder that everybody can be in the cloud. Marketopia is a giant agency, 100+ person agency, and we are 100% in the cloud. So if we can do it with the ridiculous video files and audio files, you can certainly do it with any kind of company. All right, so how do you continue operations? First of all, marketing needs a jolt. Give them more than you gave them before. Lean on them harder than you leaned on them before. They're going to have to work harder for a lead, but never has there been a time when a lead was more valuable to the organization. So give them more, help them more, give them the money they need to get the message out there, the message of hope, the message of availability, the message of strength. Give them the money that they need to give you leads. Compliment them through PR. Get the message of hope out there. If you're out there keeping a doctor online so that he or she can save a life, that should go on social. If you're doing a service call and you're flying to help or you're driving to help someone get up and running remotely, put that on service call, or put that on social media. Get the message out there that you are a hero, that you're available. Get your promotions out there. Get the fact of hope out there. Offer incredible promotions. Free service call to get people live remote. Free first month of IT services. Offer incredible promotions, be the hero. Create those promotions that are good enough to share. Now is the time to be lavish in your promotions because you're creating a brand for yourself. The people that you help out today or impress today, even if they don't hire you today, are going to be a lot more apt to call you when things get better. On the sales front, your sales team needs leads. They need to be able to sign remotely. So give them remote access or remote signature capabilities like DocuSign or Sign Now, right? PandaDoc if you're a Salesforce person. Give your sales team the support they need. Give them incredibly aggressive promotions. Give them flexibility on payment terms. Come off your high horse about the type of customer, the size of customer that you're willing to support. Now is the time to help your sales team make you successful by taking away some of the barriers to success that you were able to put on when times were good. You never know when you get it, if you land you never know if you're going to need the customer that you lose because you were inflexible or stingy. You may find that you really needed them in June. Help your sales team win, be supportive of them. On the service side, a couple things here. Number one, we've always been the hero to business. IT service companies have always been the hero to business. A lot of businesses are there to support other people in times of desire and times of need. Do not be the company who lets down your customers when things get tough. I saw a couple of posts about an IT company refusing to go on site to help a medical group that was struggling with COVID-19 cases. I can't think of a more disgusting and disservice in my life than to not help a customer who's trying to save someone's life. That company does not deserve to be in business. The owner of that company, if they didn't prepare their employees to protect them with PPE equipment, shame on them. But the last thing that someone should do is not be there for someone when they need you most. We are not a fair weather fan, and you don't want to build the reputation and brand of being someone who's not there when you really need them. So get out there, help your employees get working around them, helping them be productive. Support the medical community, support the people who are in need right now, restaurants and grocery stores and all the critical need people need you more than ever. Do not let your services fall off. Obviously, you want to try and do as much remotely as you can, but there are some things you're going to need to roll on. Protect yourself with a mask and cleanliness. Get out there and take care of your customers. Be the hero that they saw you as a month ago. Similarly to back office, be tight on back office. Do not give a tremendous amount of flexibility. Force those customers to have those hard conversations. Do not let days and weeks go by before you force the conversation about whether or not they're going to be able to pay your bill. Tighten your collections policies. Put people on hold credit faster to force the conversation so that you can determine how flexible you want to be. Don't slack on the back office. Don't not do collections. Don't give away the security of your company and the viability of your company to help a customer that doesn't even need it. Okay, back office needs to be tight. They need to be quality cash flow focused. They need to be quality in all they do. Everybody needs to pull their weight. And when I look at this, I want you to look at the organization as a whole. Everybody has to work harder right now. Everybody has to work smarter right now. No part of the organization is of less importance at all unless demand from customers goes down. If demands from customers go down, then the service is where you trim first. Don't have excess capacity right now unless you are about to land a huge customer. Don't let a high expense employee that has no work to do be the one that drowns you. The smart businesses are the ones that double down on the front end of their business, marketing, sales, PR. The smart businesses are the ones that cut back on service delivery until they have the need to deliver those services. What do you do after? So I made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot of lessons. I mentioned some of the scenarios when we first started. The most important thing that you can do to ensure that you always get better every day and that you thrive and achieve something extraordinary with your life personally and professionally is to make sure that you only make the same mistake once. You should learn after success and learn after failure. You don't want to win a deal because you had too low of a price. You don't want to lose an employee because you made a mistake that you've already made once in the past. So what do you do after? Number one, live up to your word. If you had vendors that you had to short pay, make it right. If you had employees that you furloughed, make it right by them. If you had amazing employees, hire them back as soon as you can. If you had poor quality employees, maybe they were C players. Explain to them what they can do to improve themselves. Make it right by them. Do the right thing. Make things right with those that you've hurt. The reality is some of us are going to have to make very hard decisions. We're going to have to hurt vendors that we love. We're going to have to hurt employees that we love, customers that we love. We're going to disappoint people if things get tough, and that's life. Make things right with them. Be honorable, apologize, go look them in the eye. The handshake may never be the same, so I kind of find it ironic that we use the handshake, right? We may never shake hands again now that we know the risks of doing so, but make it right. Tell them you're sorry, try and make it right, and then have postmortem discussions. What should we have done different, right? And I'll give you an example. We already have 250 masks on their way to Marketopia. Why? We don't roll to customer sites, but we know what's coming. Right? I believe very strongly that the new world order, when we do go back to work, will maintain social distancing and that masks will become a mandatory thing, or at least a highly recommended thing. So I'm going to have masks for my team when the time comes to come back to work. I'm predicting that, but also I'm preparing for it, because if those masks don't get used, I can put them in storage and pull them out should something happen in the future. What should you do different? How can you learn? How can you get better through success and failure? If you do that, you'll find that you won't make the same mistake twice, and you'll achieve extraordinary things in your personal life and your business life. How can Marketopia help? Okay, first, we are focused on growth and success no matter what. I mentioned this before, but we've actually achieved approximately the same number of leads for our customers as we got a month ago, right? Why does that matter? Why? Yeah, the leads change, where they're obviously phone appointments versus on-site appointments, but people are succeeding. People are growing. Smart businesses are capitalizing on this and growing through this. Smart businesses are looking at the future, not paralyzed with fear in the current. They see hope. They see potential. They see opportunity for grandeur. For example, there are weak MSPs that are letting fear control them. The best thing you can do if you are a level-headed, strong person is to be like Warren Buffett. Call those companies and offer to buy them. You might get a deal, a steal of a deal right now. The sooner, the lowest price of a product is usually at the pinnacle of fear, which I believe is going to happen in the next week to 2 weeks. That's when fear will be at its peak. That's when prices will be at their lowest. Now is the time for you to make bets for your future. If you can come out of this and make 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 acquisitions over the next 30 days, you will come out of this a much stronger player. You will solve the needs of the people that want to sell, that would rather give up the CEO title and join this more stable, stronger organization. You can be that organization. Success is a choice. It's achieved through a series of decisions. Do not let fear, uncertainty, and doubt guide you. Allow hope, knowledge, and thought, intelligent thought about the future to guide you. With that, we'll open it up to questions. Please do type your questions in the questions window and I'll address them as they come in. Sean's asked, a lot of orgs are also on autopilot, so more opportunity to get into a conversation because they are not being inundated. Sean, you're exactly right. Your customers have been awoken to the reality that risk is real, right? Almost like all those millennials out there that thought they were bulletproof and 10 feet tall, they now realize that, you know, even they're vulnerable, right? People are vulnerable to work to disasters. You can sell things that you couldn't even get conversations about now. People also have more time. They're not wasting their time with lunch meetings and hallway conversations. They're at their work desk and they're available. Now is a great time to reach someone. If never in the last 6 years of running Marketopia, right, is one of the 500 fastest growing companies in the United States. Not one time has there been a better time to call me. I'm exponentially more likely to answer the phone. Pick up the phone and call them, right? Similarly, take those calls. If you're getting a call from a vendor that's offering a solution, maybe you were too busy to take that call. Take this opportunity to work on your business. There are a lot of great solutions out there that can elevate the performance of your business, whether it's new services you can engage with or new products that you can represent. You can improve your business. You can work on your business by taking those calls and exploring, opening your mind. Look for more opportunities for revenue. Look to broaden your customer base. Maybe look to go upstream by offering a more enterprise class solution, right? There are a lot of opportunities out there, right? You want to make sure that you're offering, solutions that people need now and in the future. Be there and listen to those vendors and explore the chances. Open up your mind. The people who are closed-minded to progress are the ones who become dinosaurs, and because they fail to evolve. They don't survive trials and tribulations because they're so stuck on yesterday that they're not focused on tomorrow. Be open-minded, right? Vendors are being very aggressive right now. You can get free trials. They're offering great promotions. If they want you as a partner, they're going to work harder now than they've ever worked before. Take advantage of that. You might be able to get better pricing. So if you've been waffling about buying a new CRM system or a PSA tool or ERP system, man, now's probably a great time. You got time to implement it. They're going to be really aggressive on price. You know, it's a great combination, right? You know what? And the other thing I would say is just continue to be that beacon of hope. There are so many naysayers out there, so many negative people, whether they're Trump haters or whatever. They hate Congress, they hate their mayor, they hate their governor. Everybody out there is so focused on negativity. Be a beacon of light. Be a beacon of hope. Be the energy that attracts people. Make people want to do business with you. Make people want to be friends with you because you're on the side of positivity. You're on the side of hope. People will turn to people like that in times like this, and I want you to be the one they turn to. There's a lot of great people out there with great ideas, companies that are offering great solutions. Now's the time to get your message out, be aggressive, and come out of this stronger than when you went in. If there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and call it a day. All right, I guess that's it. I thank you guys so much for your time. If I can be of any assistance, do let me know. Go on LinkedIn. I have random musings on there. I will warn you that they tend to be focused on hope and positivity. I'm not the guy who wallows in negativity. I try to help people just like I want you to do. Anyway, thank you so much. God bless all of you, and God bless the USA. Have a wonderful day.